I saw this reel not too long ago, and it listed a bunch of different anime eyes and how practical they would be in real life. And so I decided to make a short about it, giving a quick synopsis of each of the eye that I think would probably be best. So I decided, why not make a whole entire video about it. I've grabbed a bunch of different eyes here from anime, and we're going to make a tier list on how practical they would be in real life. We have a tier list here, S being the best and D being the worst. And I grabbed a bunch of different eyes from anime that I could think of and how best they would be for real life. Now I know I didn't have every single one of here from every single anime, so please, if you think of one I should add to the tier list, let me know in the comments below, and also subscribe while you're down there. I'm trying to grow the channel to 300, and it would mean the world to me if we could do that. Please, my goal in life is trying to become a full-time content creator, so any support would be amazing. But before we get into this video, let's set some ground rules. Rule number 1, this is how practical it would be in real life. Just like the video title says, this isn't how powerful or practical this item would be for this own respective universe. This is how practical it'd be for right here, right now in today's modern society. Rule number 2, I'm allowed to bring in external sources to fuel these eyes. Originally, I didn't want to do this because I thought that'd become like a cop-out answer, but then I realized I kinda need things like chakra or nen or curse energy to be able to operate these eyes at all. And rule number 3, just in case I need to preface this, I don't get other abilities that go along with these eyes. So like Gojo's 6 eyes would be my curse technique. I don't get any other curse techniques, almost like the ones that I made that you can find my entire series on. Cool, now without the rules out of the way, let's move on. Let's start off with easily the most iconic eye of all of anime, the Sharingan. The Sharingan from Naruto is easily the most iconic anime eye of all time. Any weeb or anyone that's associated with anime knows what the Sharingan looks like and can easily identify it. Let's assume in this situation that we start off with just a 1-tome Sharingan and we can slowly work our way up. With a 1-tome Sharingan, you're able to see the pathway of chakra. But in real life, no one here has chakra, so this ability comes kind of useless. But with the 2-tome Sharingan, I'm able to react to people's attacks that are much quicker. So if someone randomly decided to throw a punch at me, I could be able to react to it much quicker. And with the 3-tome Sharingan, I'm able to copy other people's abilities. So if I watch like a UFC fighter do some crazy moves, if I get my body fit enough, I would be able to replicate it. Let's assume you're able to go all the way to the Mangekyo Sharingan. Well, the Mangekyo Sharingan is really good for offensive purposes because it tailors to your own personality. Some obvious examples are like the Tsukuyomi, Amaterasu, the Susanoo, which every single Mangekyo Sharingan gets, or the Kodomatsukame. Those are really good abilities for something like Naruto, but I don't need those in my everyday life. I don't have enemies like that, and I wouldn't torture anybody with those abilities. And easily the biggest drawback is that the Mangekyo Sharingan causes you to go blind, and since no one else has a Sharingan, I can't have a way to get the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. So there's really no way to use it, but I'm still going to put it in S tier because almost every anime fan wants the Sharingan. It's just that cool. The aura that you get, even with just one Sharingan, the amount of aura that you could farm with this thing. Easily, it's going in S tier. It may not be the best here practically, but it gives you the most amount of aura, and it's the coolest one here. Next up here, we have the Almighty from Bleach. The Almighty is an ability possessed by the character Yahaba. Yahaba's ability, the Almighty, allows him to basically choose what timeline he wants to happen, and then it just happens. So let's say he wants to pick the timeline where he gets $1 million. Well, he gets $1 million. Let's say he gets the timeline where someone tries to slash him with a sword. Instead, they miss, and then their guts fly out everywhere. That would just happen. And if we want to equate this to our own real life, you could choose whatever timeline you want to happen. The one where you get $1 million, you get all the women, you become handsome, or whatever. It's easily just the best one on here because you just get to choose what you want to happen, and it just happens. There's no reason you shouldn't put it in S tier, so it's immediately going in S tier. Next up here, we have the Geass from Code Geass. Lucius eyes here are very powerful, as in with just direct eye contact with someone, you're able to compel them to do whatever you want. But I don't really have a need to be able to compel anybody that I want, because if I ask someone to do something and they don't do it, I just end up doing it myself, and feeling the need to like bend someone's will to do that would just break a lot of trust with a lot of people. Like me personally, if someone said, oh yeah, I've just been compelling you to do that because I have a superpower, I really wouldn't appreciate that and would probably stop being a friend with that person. I don't know, I just don't really have a need to just bend people's will like that, you know? So I'm probably going to put this in a C tier. I mean, it's a good ability. If you're that type of person that doesn't mind like breaking people's trust like that, go right ahead. It's a great ability. But for me, this would probably be like bottom of the barrel. I don't want to take it. Next up here, we have the Ultimate Eye from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. This is an ability possessed by the character Bradley. And from my understanding, this is just every UFC fighter's dream ability. It gives you a heightened reaction sense, and it gives you weakness detection, so when you're fighting someone, you can find weaknesses, either from a blind spot or being able to find an opening. Again, I'm not a fighter, so I don't really have a need for this, but if you do something like UFC, it'd be great. And if someone gave this to me, I would probably end up joining something like UFC or MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, something like that. I'll probably put this in B tier. If it was given the option, I'd consider it, because I don't really see myself forming into like a UFC fighter like that, but like if I ever do get into a fight like that, then it'd probably be a good thing to have. Next up here, we have the Millennium Eye from Yu-Gi-Oh! The Millennium Eye is one of the 7 Millennium items in Yu-Gi-Oh! And is possessed by the character Pegasus. This eye gives you about 3 different abilities. You can read other people's minds, soul manipulation, allowing you to trap someone's soul in something like a statue or to a playing card. And this kind of falls into the same realm as the Gyas, as in I don't have a need to read other people's minds because again, that's just a great way to easily break someone's trust. And I don't want to trap someone else's soul in like a card or a statue because that's just something I don't really need to do. Unless you're trying to become a supervillain with this power, it's great, but I don't have a need for this, so I'm definitely going to put this in D tier. Next up here, we have the Jigan from Yu Yu Hakusho. The Jigan is an ability possessed by the character Hiei, and it's a gray eye giving you the ability to see 10 kilometers in front of you. You can use telekinesis, and it gives you resistance to mental attacks. This would have originally been an S tier item for me, but I don't want an eye just chilling on the center of my forehead. That's a little weird. Like, I don't want to be looking like no Triclops. I'm still going to take it though, given the opportunity, but it's going in A tier just for the weirdest placement. But having things like telekinesis and being able to see super far away would be so useful. Next up here, we have the Scarlet Eyes from Hunter x Hunter. The Scarlet Eyes is an ability possessed by the character Kurapika, and from my understanding, it just turns Kurapika's Nen affinity into a specialist, while also giving him a small strength boost. And let's not forget that Rule 2 would take into place and allow me to use Nen. So, but here's the other issue. Rule 3 also takes into place that I don't have any other Nen abilities that I can use. I only just have the Scarlet Eyes. And all it does is just turn me into a specialist. Now again, I could break the rules here and be like, oh, I can now use a separate Nen ability since I have Nen, and then use the Scarlet Eyes to turn into a specialist. But I'm going to stay true here and say I only just get the Scarlet Eyes, but I still have Nen. I guarantee there's a Hunter x Hunter fan out there just telling me the crazy things I can do with just the Scarlet Eyes and being a specialist. But to my knowledge, I don't really see a need for these since the strength boost sounds nice, but like, all it does is just turn you into a specialist, and I don't really have a need for that. So for me, this is going in D tier. Next up here, we have Eraserhead's quirk, Eraser. The Eraser Eyes are very useful in the world of My Hero Academia. Allowing you to shut someone else's quirk down in a fight would be insane, since now you're just going straight hands. But again, we live in a society where quirks aren't a thing. It really wouldn't do anything in this society. I don't get his weird bandage thing, so I don't get to swing around like a mummy Spider-Man. So his eyes kind of suck in real life because no one here has quirks, so I wouldn't have anybody's abilities to shut down. So for me, this is going in D tier. Next up here, we have the Shinigami Eyes from Death Note. The Shinigami Eyes are very useful in the world of Death Note. Being able to see someone's full name and when they die could be very useful when you have something like a Death Note. But again, I don't have a Death Note. And while yes, I say with Rule 2 that I can bring in external sources to fuel the eyes, there's nothing internal I need to fuel the eyes, so I just get the eyes. I don't get a Death Note though. Because what it would do is all it does is shorten my lifespan, and I just get to see people's names and when they die. This is just a terrible item and no one should take it. Immediate D tier. No, we're making our own row or making it F tier. This item sucked. No one should take this. Next up here, we have the 6 eyes from Jujutsu Kaisen. So remember, Rule 2, I get to use curse energy to be able to fuel these eyes, but Rule 3, I don't get my own curse technique. Just like a curse technique that I made that you can find on my YouTube page. Sorry, shameless plug over. Alright, for real though, since I don't get another curse technique to go with these eyes, there's really no point of taking it. TLDR of why Gojo is so powerful, the 6 eyes allow him to manipulate curse energy at the molecular level so refined that he doesn't lose any juice in a fight. But considering if that's your only curse technique, you wouldn't be able to do anything else really. Yeah, you could do things like coat your hands with cursed energy or be able to use a black flash. I'm not a fighter, and that would also take lots of training to do. I'm not a prodigy like Yuji, and I wouldn't be able to figure it out. And again, I don't have a need to do that. For me, this is going to be a D tier because all it does is just allow you to manipulate curse energy at the molecular level, but it doesn't really do anything else besides that. Next up here, we have the Kagan from Tokyo Ghoul. Is it Kagan? Kagune? I don't know how to pronounce this thing. I never saw Tokyo Ghoul. It looked boring. From my understanding, this is the symboling that Kaneki is using his ghoul powers, so let's assume that we can use Kaneki's ghoul powers with these eyes. The Kagone gives him a lot of different abilities, but for real-life purposes, this really isn't the most practical thing you could pick. Because yes, you do get some flesh tentacles, you get some super strength, super regeneration, and some other ghouly powers, but for real-life purposes, you aren't going to need those. But being able to regenerate super fast and being super strong would be pretty nice, but being a ghoul would also be very nice because you'd have to be able to eat other people to sustain yourself and all that. I think this power is kind of dumb, so me personally, we're going to put this in C tier. Because there are some circumstances of why they could be good, you could definitely make an argument for it, but for me personally, I don't need this at all. Next up here, we have the Byakugan from Naruto. The Byakugan is one of the 3 main eyes from Naruto, concerning with the Sharingan and the Rinnegan, to which we'll get in a little bit. What the Byakugan is mostly known for is giving you a full 360 view of your entire surroundings, with just a small blind spot in the back of your head, while also giving you abilities to use other different martial art moves that which you obviously have to train to use. And you're able to do things like see through walls and have x-ray vision. There really isn't anything wrong with these eyes, and they're really useful if you want to be able to see through walls and all that. I don't really see an issue with these eyes. I mean, being able to see a full 360 view around me would be pretty nice. I'd never run into anything and always know what's around me, and being able to see through walls would also be kind of cool. So I don't really see an issue with these eyes. I'm definitely going to put this in a B tier. Definitely nothing bad, but nothing like reality warping or insanely useful. Next up here we have Metavision from Blue Lock. Metavision currently is probably one of my favorite eye powers I've ever seen because it's just so cool. Metavision is an ability that a lot of different Blue Lock characters are able to use, and what it does is give you a lot of advantages when playing a game like soccer, or football for my non-American viewers. From my understanding of what Metavision does, it allows you to be able to perceive everything that's happening on the field super quickly and super efficiently. So you're keeping track of things like the ball, opening, your teammates, the enemies, and the goalie, and what he's going to do, and if he's going to jump this way, or that way, or this way, or that way, or it just allows your brain to run at 100% capacity, and when playing a sport, that's super useful, but when you're not on the field, there isn't really any need for it. But for me personally, since I recently started playing soccer, I wouldn't mind having it because it would just allow me to destroy all of my friends in soccer, so that'd be really useful. But for everyday life, I don't really have a need for it. But if someone said I could teach you Metavision, I'm still going to take it. This is definitely a C tier option. Next up here, we have the Stone Eyes from Fairy Tail. From all the research that I did, the only thing I found that the Stone Eyes do is just turn your opponent into stone. Like, all you have to do is look at someone and they turn into stone, and that's it. So there really isn't a need for these eyes at all. These suck. It's going in F tier. You don't need it. Another eye-related power here we have from My Hero Academia, Foresight. Foresight is an ability that just allows you to be able to predict your opponent's movement with 100% accuracy. So if someone's going to throw a punch at you or kick you or whatever, you'd be able to know that's going to happen and dodge accordingly. It's great for if you're a fighter like UFC, MMA, whatever, but for everyday life, I don't really see a need for it. But for this reason, I'm going to put it in C tier. You don't really have a need for it outside of combat purposes, so I can probably go my life without it. And lastly here, we have the Rinnegan from Naruto. The Rinnegan here completes the trifecta of the three great eyes in Naruto, the Sharingan, the Byakugan, and the Rinnegan. Looking at the basic Rinnegan's abilities, you get a ton of different abilities that are pretty useful. Being able to manipulate souls, or being able to manipulate gravity. Being able to summon different animals. Some of these are really good, and some of these are really good for when you're living in Naruto. The only one I could probably say is good for when you're not living in Naruto is probably the Deva Path. The one about manipulating gravity, being able to attract and repel objects. But if we're given the option here of the 6 Tome Rinnegan, you are going to want that because you get the ability to be able to teleport yourself and a different object. Being able to swap yourself in a different object would make life so much easier. Being able to just teleport like that, hell yeah, I want that. If someone comes to me and said, I can give you the Rinnegan, you best believe I'm taking it the moment I can get it. The aura that you just get with the Rinnegan is just enough to take it. There are a bunch of abilities that are pretty useful, but mostly are meant for offensive purposes. Again, there does have some abilities that kind of suck for real life, being able to manipulate souls or summon giant animals like that, but being able to attract and repel objects and teleport yourself are very useful. So for me, this is going in S tier. So here you have it. This is our completed anime eye tier list. If I miss any, please put them in the comments below and I would love to add them to this list. Leave a comment what you guys think of the tier list down below, and please, while you're down there, please subscribe and like the video so that way I can go full time one day. If you want to make your own tier list at home, I'll have a link in the description for you to make, so that way if you want to make your own, you can, and which I highly encourage that you do. And if you do, tag me on Instagram or send me a tweet about it. I'm trying to get into using Twitter and Instagram more, so that'd be a great excuse too. But let me know what you guys thought in the comments below of this video, and as always, have a good day.